Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today we're going to react to Aaliyah and I don't know how to pronounce this bitch name. Kidada. That's what we're going to call it. Kidada or Kidada. I don't know how to pronounce the bitch name. But anyways, though, first thing first, RIP to Aaliyah. If you don't know, Aaliyah died on my 7th birthday, and I always said that if I have a daughter, I would name her after Aaliyah. Yeah. RIP to Aaliyah. Her death is very close to me. So, the fact that she died on my 7th birthday, bro, that shit hurts to this day, bro. So yeah, without further ado, man, let's get right into this.
Aaliyah became the spokesperson for Tommy Hilfiger in 1996. She was the first R&B act to land a major endorsement deal like this. She set the bar and paved the way for other R&B and hip-hop artists to land similar deals. Without Aaliyah, the Tommy Hilfiger women's line would not have expanded. Aaliyah had her own distinct style from day one. Very tomboyish in the early days, but with a feminine flair. Brandy and Monica were her counterparts, and they wore heels and evening gowns for photo shoots and red carpet appearances. Escape did have a similar look in those days, although they were straight up gangster with their style. Aaliyah was more demure and mysterious.
Define gangster, because I don't see nothing gangster about them, because they wear rags, because they was wearing rags on top of their heads. Define gangster to me. See, these channels, bro, it be these channels right here, bro, that be painting that negative connotation, bro, towards our people, man. That's that shit I don't like, bro, for real. Like, I really don't like that shit, bro. You gonna call them gangsters when they clearly are R&B singers? They don't rap, they don't sing about no gangster shit. They don't sing about pulling up and smoking the op. They sing about relationships and shit, bro. What I need from you is understanding. Nigga, they made a song about being a side nigga, bro. They made a song about being a side nigga, bro. What? You're my little secret, and that's how we should keep it. Come on, man. You gonna call them a gangster? Their style was more gangster. Come on, bro. That's not cool. Stop. That's not cool. That is the wrong light to put them in, bro. They were not gangster, bro. They were an R&B act that just so happened to wear clothes that were normal in the environments that we grew up in. See, people that don't know the culture always be the ones to speak on it. That's my problem. These fucking channels, bro, they never been part of the culture, but they always talking about it. And then they always put in negative connotations on these artists, bro. That's the thing I don't like.
Is too, which added a new dimension to her overall style, and this was strategic. I wanted something to set myself apart from everyone else in my music and style, because everyone else is so similar. I'm mellow, so my style matches that. I'm a laid-back person, which is what I portray on camera. It's not much of a difference, so that's why it's so easy. So Tommy Hilfiger was her favourite brand, and a lot of R&B and hip-hop artists at the time began to wear it. He noticed this, so he actually began to give away merchandise to various hip-hop artists and R&B singers. And that's when it became popular within that niche. And there was a rumour going around that he basically dissed black people and said something to the effect of him not wanting them to wear.
Hey, that was a rumor for a long ass time, but then it got proven that he really didn't say that shit. That was the surprising part, bro. Yeah, that's surprising, bro. Tommy Hilfiger really didn't say that shit. It was one of his competitors that did that shit. And the thing is, we don't know who his competitor was. We don't know if it was Ralph Lauren. We don't know if it was Hugo Boss. We don't know if it was fucking Nautica. We don't know whoever be selling clothes at Macy's. We don't know who put that letter out there and tried to say that was Tommy Hilfiger that put that out there. But whoever did that shit, bro, that shit was sad, bro, because Tommy Hilfiger got hit for a minute, bro. Because we was all saying fuck Hilfiger. Was Pimp C started saying, all I fuck was Ralph Lauren, nigga, fuck Hilfiger. Nigga, when Pimp C was saying that shit, you already know. Pimp C say fuck Hilfiger, we was all saying fuck Hilfiger. But it turns out he never really said that shit. That's fucked up. They framed him, bro. He was gonna change the game for rap and all of us, bro. He was gonna have an urban line and everything. And all that got fucked up because one of his competitors was like, nah, fuck that. We still don't know to this day who did that.
His clothes. And that has since been debunked. The rumor was that he went on Oprah and said this, and he was quoted as saying this. But he hadn't even been on Oprah at the time.
I love being here today because I love the fact that I have the chance now to squash this, to dispel it, and to tell the truth. To tell the truth. Has it hurt you? It hurt my integrity because at the end of the day, that's all you have. And if people are going to challenge my honesty and my integrity and what I am as a person, it hurts more than anything else. Forget the money that it has cost me. Forget anything else.
Because has it cost you money?
It's cost me money. It's cost me a heartache.
Yeah.
You know, I have 4 children.
And he has since spoken out about this, and he said that he never knew where that rumor came from, why it started, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Aaliyah was one of the only female R&B singers to wear the brand, and it fit her style perfectly, quite baggy in nature, but it didn't swamp her small frame. She would accessorize and wear her hair in her signature long, sleek style, with a swooped bang, plus the dark shades. And it was Tommy Hilfiger that led Aaliyah to meet her best friend of 6 years, Kidada Jones, daughter of legendary producer, writer and composer Quincy Jones. Me and Aaliyah met at a Tommy Hilfiger fashion show that I styled in about '93. She had really small feet, so did I, and she didn't have shoes for the show, so I remember loaning her my shoes. Then we met again on the Tommy Hilfiger photo shoot, when we were both in the ad. You know when the dogs are at the dog park, and they run up to each other, and their tails wag, and they smell each other? It was just easy. As soon as we met, we just started talking, and that was it. So Aaliyah's label contacted Andy Hilfiger, and told them that she was interested in modelling for the brand. They knew that she had been a long-time supporter of theirs, and they decided to put her in their next ad. So she appeared in their ad campaigns, walked the red carpet in Tommy Hilfiger, wore Tommy Hilfiger in her music videos, and she would wear their jeans, boxers even, and their bandeaus. So she would initially wear clothing from their men's line, but she inspired the label to expand their women's line, and basically started a new style. Thomas, or Tommy Hilfiger himself, said the following: Aaliyah, she was just amazingly beautiful, sexy, effortless, and perfect for the brand. I remember one time she came to a Jay-Z listening session with Dame, and he had to go up front, so she ended up sitting next to me. She just had on jeans, a regular shirt and sneakers. She looked gorgeous. I remember her smelling so amazing. If there's a breeze in heaven, that's what she smelled like. It makes sense that she's the one that took their women's wear to a whole nother level. The oversized jeans, sports bra, and no waist. It worked. And Andy said, what Aaliyah really did was show this style, the sexy but sporty chic style. She brought this swagger, this sexiness. It was just incredible. We created a new look with Aaliyah, and that look is still popular today.
Fact.
In 2001, Aaliyah did an interview with Vibe, and unfortunately, she did often get asked about R. Kelly, and she tried to, remain private about the whole situation. But here's what she said. Of course, everybody has had hard times. I've had hard times. I don't really think I will go into detail as to what it was. But when you go through something so painful, it just helps you become a stronger person. So in the Vibe interview, they discussed how Aaliyah's style had evolved by the time of her second album, 1 in a Million. So her style became more mysterious, and apparently it was her mother who gave her the idea to cover her eye with her hair. And it was based on her mother's favourite actress, a classic film actress called Veronica Lake. And speaking of Vibe, Aaliyah, Kidada, and Damon Dash were actually on set for a photo shoot for Vibe. He said they were all connected on a level that he wasn't expecting. The photo shoot was shot by Hype Williams, and it appeared on a 2004 edition of Vibe. The spread included photos of Aaliyah, Kidada, actress Bijou Phillips, and model Natane Badru. Since Tupac and Kidada dated, a lot of people have always wondered whether Aaliyah actually met Tupac and had a friendship with him. There are photos online of the two of them together, but they're all photoshopped. There is no photographic evidence that the two of them actually met, or even at the same events together, or in the same room together. Now, I believe the Tommy photo shoot was in '96, so it could have been after Tupac had already passed away, when Aaliyah and Kidada became close friends. Aaliyah and Kidada did a photo shoot with up-and-coming photographer at the time, Jason Keeley, and he said it was a really fun shoot. They were just basically messing around and being really silly, and the photos turned out absolutely beautiful. There was a Fader interview where people who knew Aaliyah paid tribute to her. Kidada was a part of that, and she said that they just had a lot in common, they had a lot of fun together, and they liked the same things. And their favourite thing to do together was to prank call Quincy Jones. We were into fashion, music, boys, pop culture, sense of humour. That's what I would say was our common ground. Once we pranked my dad, and she acted like she was Christina Aguilera. She was asking my dad to do something on her record, and she was just singing, and he totally believed it was her. When he was like, "What number can I call you back at?" She gave him my home number. He still didn't realise it was us. I called him right after, and he goes, "Christina Aguilera just called me." But then he looked up the number and he figured it out. Then Kidada revealed that Aaliyah lived with her for a little while. She said that her mother allowed her to be her guardian because she was about 5 years older than her, and her mother went off to Europe. Her mum allowed me to be her guardian for a little bit. I was a few years older, so when she went to Europe, I was the guardian, which was a complete and total nightmare. I'll keep in mind, but it was just young fun. And maybe I didn't really understand the boundaries. We got in trouble quite a few times. A lot of friends have quarrels, and maybe we had a couple of disagreements, but our friendship was based on going out and having a great time. And they were seen quite a bit on the party circuit. There's various photos of them at different events, Halloween parties, birthday parties, of different celebrities, different rappers, different people within the industry. There are quite a few photos of them enjoying themselves and having a good time. We ate breakfast late at night. We got our nails done a lot. We shopped a lot. When no one knew what Kitson was, we would be there all the time. We spent a lot of time getting matching outfits and clothes. We had boyfriends at the same time, so we would get them the same presents. We even vacationed together. We went to Fiji. Now Kidada and her sister Rashida weren't as close growing up as you would expect. There was some distance between them, and Aaliyah kind of slipped into the role of close sister. Rashida and Kidada had different upbringings, especially after their parents divorced. Kidada stayed with their father, Quincy, while Rashida went to live with their mother, Peggy Lipton. So in their mother's biography, Breathing Out, Peggy Lipton said that Kidada was quite tough and resilient. When she was growing up, she had different features to her sister. Her sister was born with straight hair, very fair-skinned, whereas Rashida was darker and had big, thick, curly hair. And Rashida is the one who wrote an open letter to Tupac, reprimanding him for his comments about her father Quincy Jones and his choice of wives. And that's how he ended up meeting Kidada. He bumped into her at a club one night, thought she was Rashida, and apologized for his comments.
He said all this kind of not very nice stuff about my dad and mixed families and mixed kids and how it's messing up America.
Rashida wrote back to the source, taking Tupac to task for his letter. Shortly afterwards, Tupac tried to apologize.
I was at a club one night in New York, and he thought I was Rashida Tupac, and he came up to me and he was apologizing about the article he wrote about my parents. And inside I'm just like, oh my god, he is so cute.
Both girls went to a predominantly white private school. Rashida blended in, but it was the opposite for Kidada. She stood out and attracted a lot of attention, and she was bullied at school. She was also quite outspoken, and that tended to get her into trouble too. She was expelled from 10 schools on the basis of behavioural problems, but she was eventually diagnosed with dyslexia. After this, she started to excel at school. She got her undergraduate degree from Harvard University. After her parents divorced and Rashida lived with her father, she ended up going to a predominantly black school, a public school. She thrived off of the acceptance and grew in confidence, and that's when she developed her own style. She went on to attend the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising before ending up working for Tommy Hilfiger. She was their muse for 8 years. When Kidada styled the Vibe photo shoot for Tommy Hilfiger, she was still in school. They were really impressed with her work, and that's when they hired her to style for their sister brand, Tommy Jeans. She was described as a visionary, well beyond her years. Aaliyah trusted Kidada as her stylist and would listen to anything she said. Her mother said, "It was difficult for me to watch her struggle with such painful questions of identity, which inevitably stoked a fierceness in her personality. But it was the ferocity that let me know Kidada would always find her own place in this world." The parent they chose to live with kind of reflected the side they identified with the most, and the distance between them grew even further. And this went on for quite a few years. Rashida didn't even attend Kidada's 25th birthday party. Kidada said, "That hurt a lot, but I had Aaliyah." Kidada and Aaliyah had planned to launch a fashion venture. On the 25th of August 2001, reports came in about a plane crash at Marsh Harbour in the Bahamas, and that there were no survivors. Fans were shocked beyond belief that one of the passengers of the small jet engine plane was Aaliyah Horton.
The plane crash that killed a rising star in the world of music and film. Reaction today after Aaliyah and 8 others were killed when the plane went down. Good evening, I'm Lauren Glassberg for Sandra Bookman.
And I'm Tim Washington. The plane, just after taking off to Florida in perfect weather, suddenly plummeted to the ground. Investigators now saying one of the engines apparently failed. Along with 8 passengers, Aaliyah, a young Brooklyn native and a talented singer and actress. Jeff Rossen is live in Times Square with more on her life. Jeff?
And Aaliyah had a huge following not only here in New York City, but nationwide. Only 22 years old, this pop sensation was a popular singer. She was an actress in some movies recently, even a Grammy nominee. Tonight, her family is in mourning, fans asking, why her? Relatives in shock outside Aaliyah's home on the Upper West Side. The R&B star lived here at the Century, Central Park West and 63rd. She was on a small plane heading to Florida from the Bahamas, where she was shooting a music video.
Sweetest person you can know, very intelligent. She knew what she was about and she knew what she wanted to do with her life.
Aaliyah's life started here in New York City, born in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. But as a child, she moved to Detroit, where friends today remembered this young star.
Aaliyah was my best friend. She was a beautiful person on the inside and out. And I'm just shocked.
Aaliyah's hits include Back and Forth and At Your Best. She acted in the movie Romeo Must Die and was slated to appear in sequels to The Matrix. But her life, her dreams, were taken away. On board the doomed Cessna, Aaliyah and 8 others, including a representative for Virgin Records and a makeup artist. Investigators say one of the engines apparently failed. They crashed just short of a runway on Abaco Island. Members of her dance team arrived safely on a different plane.
She's a beautiful person inside and out, and we're gonna all miss her deeply. She will greatly be missed. She had a great impact on many lives, and it was a great experience to share that time.
The family, too hurt to speak on camera, but released this statement. Aaliyah's family is devastated at the loss of their loving daughter and sister. Their hearts go out to those families who also lost their loved ones in this tragic accident.
I think about her all the time. She was so sweet. She just left a sweet coating over everything. Anytime she's brought up, or her music comes on the radio, it's sweet. But it definitely sounds like she found a niche before it was here. If you listen to her music, it's so relevant today. But we had it so long ago. There was an edgier side to her that people didn't know. She was more forward-thinking than most people, deeper. She was fine spending time alone. She was a thinker, a little risky in fashion. She was trend-setting. We were in the process of starting a girls' clothing line. It was called Dolly Pop. Right when she passed, we were getting ready to sign our contracts for that. We were making plans for this big brand that was going to be girly and cute and have Japanese inspiration. This was 7 or 8 years ago, so the whole Japanese inspiration wasn't at the forefront. Her instinct was definitely forward and a little brave. She was a risk taker. She absolutely pioneered the whole falsetto over a heartbeat, and the whole feminine meets tomboy, mysterious dance routine. That's her. She very much paved the way for girls. Kidada's mother, the late Peggy Lipton, said, Kidada was so shattered by Aaliyah's death, she packed up and moved in with me. It wasn't a question of getting over Aaliyah's death, but simply how to go on without her. Now apparently when Tupac made those comments that were quite disparaging about Quincy Jones and his family, something along the lines of him marrying white women and having quote-unquote effed up children, they now say that he was actually referring to the struggle that mixed kids go through, where they have the pressure put on them to identify with a particular side, kind of similar to the struggle that Kidada went through in terms of her identity and also having to deal with racial bullying. And he did apologise to Quincy Jones and his family and to Rashida. He became friends with Rashida and actually helped her with her Harvard essay that she did on him. Now, as you can imagine, Quincy Jones wasn't too happy when he found out that his daughter was dating Tupac. But he and Tupac sat down and had a conversation one night, and he must have come across genuine because Quincy Jones eventually accepted the relationship. On the 7th of September 1996, Tupac and Kidada were staying in Vegas. They were in town for the Tyson fight. Tupac came back to the hotel room and told her that he had just got into a fight with some Crips. He told her that she should not accompany him that night and stay in the hotel room instead because it wasn't safe. The next time she saw him, he would be laying in a hospital bed, fighting for his life.
I would say that Tupac was probably the smartest artist that I've met in terms of the full range, in terms of politics, personal relationships, and, scholastically, what have you, just reading. But I also feel like, to some degree, he dumbed down to sort of let his audience know, in some ways, that he was relatable. And not to say that his audience was dumb, but he was putting on a facade to relate to them in a better way, with the whole death row persona and all that. Yeah. And then he was probably 3 to 4 months away from turning all that around. So Pac was about to do that, turn around and say, okay, now that I've got the demographic that needs the help the most, I'm going to turn around and teach them certain things. Yeah. And I think that, unfortunately, it was just cut short. But he had so much in the pipeline that people don't know about. I mean, he was so well-read. He would read each book 2-3 times in a row and ask a bunch of people questions about the book, so he really learned it, So I think he was ready to unleash a lot of that and his political thoughts and power and all that kind of stuff, and just unfortunately got cut short, And to some degree, fame is also a drug, so maybe he got caught up in that a little bit, but I think he was probably literally 4 to 5 months away from a turnaround, becoming a man and becoming the leader that he was. And he was born into the Black Panthers and sort of raised to be the next leader.
Yeah.
So he was ready for it, and he knew.
Where do you think he lost his way on that? Or do you think he lost his way at all?
He never lost his way, bitch. Shut up.
Yeah. He knows his sister and my daughter, he died in her arms in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
She was engaged to him. And he used to write her letters like Lord Byron.
Incredible.
Reading a one poem of his, and in fact I recited it on Roads That Came From Concrete, Starry Eyes, by Vincent van Gogh.
Today, Kidada is 48, and aging backwards, by the way. She is an author and a designer for Disney Couture. She's currently single, after divorcing her spouse of 3 years, Jeffrey Nash, and she remains close with her father and siblings. Quincy Jones, who has 6 daughters and a son, said that he regarded Aaliyah as his 7th daughter. Aaliyah was like my 7th daughter. She had so much grace. That's why I just thought of her so special. That such a young person always approached her creativity with humility and her success with such grace. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts below, I read the comments. Like and subscribe for weekly videos. And don't forget to click the bell for more. I thought I would wear my Aaliyah shirt today. I thought it was pretty appropriate, or cheesy, whichever way you want to look at it.
Alrighty, yeah, so that's just gonna about do it for that one, man. R.I.P. to Aaliyah, R.I.P. to Pac. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to all his passengers that was on that plane. Yeah. That's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, peace out.